Hello everyone, welcome back to Direct to Disaster Ween.
Scooby-Doo, where are you? We got some.
What can you say about Scooby-Doo? It's the series that defined the cartoon mystery show. Some kids stumble into something mysterious, they find some obvious clues, there's a lot of slapstick and chasing, and the end result is finding out it was done by a man in a mask. Very corny, very cheap to make, and yet very memorable. The show's been part of our pop culture for over 40 years in various shows and formats, some less successful than others, and I'm a little surprised it doesn't get more attention around Halloween, because, yeah, it's a show about horrifying monsters and people being scared. And don't tell me it's just for kids. We've all grown up with it at some point, and it's made an impact on our lives that we will probably never forget. It's still going strong today, and it looks like it'll stick around for years to come. So, with a franchise as marketable as Scooby-Doo, they of course made video game tie-ins. And of course, they suck. And seeing as how this is the month to look at bad Halloween-themed things, let's look at probably the worst game in the series, Scooby-Doo Classic Creep Capers. This is the first 3D Scooby-Doo game, released for the Nintendo 64 in late 2000. And that's really all I can tell you about it. It has nothing to do with the previous games, and it's a completely different style than the others, so let's play it. There's one problem, though. I sold my console months ago, so not only did I have to buy the game, but also another console, a controller, another controller because the first one didn't work, the cords to plug it in, and a memory card because this doesn't save to the cartridge. All to play this. I feel like I just spent $50 to play Ride to Hell Retribution. No, nothing's as bad as that. And no, I'm not using an emulator, because emulators suck. So the title screen looks pretty promising, with the Scooby Gang running from a creepy haunted house, hoping to outrun what's ever chasing them this time, as an instrumental version of the theme plays in the background. So just by turning this game on, you'd think it would be a faithful adaptation of the show. But like the Phantom of the Opera's mask, the screen only hides the true ugliness underneath. The game split into 4 levels, each one loosely based on an episode from the series. In What a Night for a Night, you're looking for a possessed suit of armor that's haunting the museum grounds. And like the show, the first guy you see you know is going to be the monster, but you can't do anything about it. You'll also notice that the spoken dialogue is limited to just random sound effects from Shaggy and Scooby. But since this is a Nintendo 64 game before Conker's Bad Fur Day, we'll give it a pass. So you control Shaggy and Scooby in this game. Well, actually, you control Shaggy with Scooby trailing right behind. Scooby never has a part in this game. In fact, most of the time, he just gets in the way. But that's the least of our worries right now. Instead, let's talk about the biggest problem in the game. The camera. Oh hell, the camera! Each area you enter is a fixed shot of the room, sort of like Alone in the Dark or Grim Fandango. But while those had smaller, easier to navigate areas, this layout is just insane. Nearly every room you enter has at least 5 different angles, with some rooms having about a dozen they cycle through just by walking down the path. So practically every 5 steps, you enter another shot, and you have to reorient yourself to know where you are. And there's no way to know what's on the screen unless you find a shot that faces whatever it is you want to look at. So like with this shot here, you have to hope that the security guard isn't right there ready to spot you when you enter the next screen. Oh, but I didn't even mention the controls. When you enter the next room, the controls are still fixed to however they were when you entered the screen. So if you're holding down, and in the next shot you're going right, the controls still respond to whatever layout that room had. Every time you enter a new shot, you have to let go of the thumbstick, wait for Shaggy to stop, and then push the stick in the direction you want to go in. Every single time you change the screen! And you're going to be doing this constantly. Just walking across a room takes 3 or 4 different angles, made no better by the fact that you have no idea where you're going. Nearly every shot looks similar to the last, and you never know which angle you've entered or where it leads to. There is no map, no compass, and no indicator as to where you're going or what any of the rooms are. Seriously, where am I now? How do I get out of here? Do I head this way? Nope. How about over here? Nope. More often than not, you're just gonna end up walking in a circle trying to get out of wherever you are. And since it's all static camera shots, you can easily miss a door or an item you need to get unless you're standing in the exact spot for the camera to point where you need to be. Oh, but if all of that wasn't enough, the game includes obstacles that hurt when they touch you. In this level, there's a dinosaur area, which is a complete and absolute nightmare. You have no idea where each shot leads, so you can just walk right into an oncoming projectile or monster without even seeing it. And the depth perception is so bad, you can end up just walking into objects without even knowing it, and then spend about a minute trying to get around it. But the game requires you to go in this area and back 3 times to clear this level. And you're guaranteed to get lost in it at least 3 other times trying to figure out where you need to go. And you're going to be doing all of this with the Nintendo 64 controller, aka the worst and most fragile controller design in existence. I actually managed to wear out a brand new controller halfway through. Yeah, try getting through this game with a fully functional controller, let alone a half-broken one. Can you believe we've just started and I've already devoted an entire page to how broken the controls are? I need a drink. What the hell? Where's the... now where am I? Where's the camera? Where's the... Well, now where's the door? Where am I supposed to go? And now where am I? So, like I said, you control Shaggy as you wander the museum looking for clues. And that's it! You walk through all the rooms, picking up anything that glows and putting them into your inventory. You also have to solve a mini-challenge, usually finding one or all of your captured team members, in this case Velma. And to do this, you need to walk through the entire museum looking for hidden rooms or items to make entering the room possible. And like I said, unless you're in the exact spot to find them, the camera hides what you're looking for. Look, I'm trying to find the Egyptian wing, but I'm constantly redirected to the prehistoric room. I don't want to go in there. I've already been in there like 5 times. I got my butt impaled by a Land Before Time animatronic. I want to get out of this mess. There are no hints in this game, no checklists, not a single idea of what you need to do, so all you can do is wander around and collect the items you find. Oh, but that's another thing. Every item you collect is put into the exact same place in your inventory, but you'll only need 2 or 3 of them to get anywhere in the level. All the other items are either clues or trap pieces, but you wouldn't know that unless you walked around the entire museum using the item on everything possible and constantly being told, no luck, or this isn't working, by Shaggy enough times to make you want to shove him into the tailpipe of the Mystery Machine! Or until you find Fred and he tells you what to keep and what to give to him. And if you get scared enough, you drop all your items to a certain point and have to collect them all freaking over. Yeah, the life bar is actually a courage bar, and every time Shaggy's scared or touches something hazardous, it depletes. But look at what he's scared of! He's scared of a mouse? Or a spider? Really? Okay, Shaggy and Scooby are set up as the show's cowards, but they're given reasons to be scared. Sudden noises, spooky lights, a monster popping up, all reasonable things to be scared of. Here, he touches anything that moves and he starts shaking. Luckily, the bar can be refilled by collecting Scooby snacks or by going to the kitchen and playing one of the stupidest mini games ever. Scooby throws sandwich pieces at you for 15 seconds and you have to catch them. But the hit detection is so bad, 9 times out of 10, the things just bounce off your head, and you have to hope some of them land in your hands. Oh, but you're gonna be visiting this part a lot, since eventually you'll come to the monster of the level, which in this case is the Black Knight, who chases you until he either scares you away, or you enter a new area and have to go back and refill your courage. In some places you have to hide from him, which you'd think Scooby and Shaggy would be doing a lot of in this game, but nope, it's just a game event to open another area. But look at this! This sure looks like a good place to hide. Okay, hide! Come on, the Black Knight is coming, hide! Come on! And you're dead. Yeah, great. Thanks. What I need to do is select the headdress and use it with the hiding place, and then Shaggy and Scooby hide. I need to use the headdress? I thought it was just another clue. And if I have the headdress in my inventory, why don't I just automatically hide? Why does everything have to be so complex? So after a lot of searching and getting my butt kicked by rats, spiders, and sometimes the security guard because Scooby won't get out of the freaking way, I finally save Velma, collect all the clues and trap pieces, and Fred says it's time to trap the monster. So that means that Shaggy and Scooby now have to go find the monster and lure him into a room, which means checking every room in the museum until you finally find him. And where's he hiding? The dinosaur level, of course! You have to dodge the dinosaurs with horrible camera angles and controls, reach the end, and then do it again, but with a psychopathic Three Stooges prop on your tail. And if you die, you do it all over again. Come on, just let me get past and the camera changed again. Where am I now? And the night kills me. Great. Wonderful. So after about 12 tries and slamming the controller into my head, I finally get past the dinosaurs and trick them into going into the Egyptian room, where the trap is sprung, the guy is unmasked as the only other guy you see in the level, and everyone drives away happy. But I'm not happy. You know why? Because we still have 3 levels to go in this game! And you might be thinking, oh, but you've already beaten the first level and complained about it long enough. Do you really need to go on? Yes! Yes, I do! Because believe it or not, this game has not yet begun to suck. The second level is That Snow Ghost, which I haven't seen, but it's already been made clear that these levels have nothing to do with the show, so screw it. Same complaints as the last level, except this level has even more screw you moments. For example, if the camera system is dedicated to turning the simplest of movements into a freaking maze, how do you think I feel when you have to navigate an actual maze with a monster chasing you? Oh, and after you get in and out of the maze, you have to go back in and do it again to get a paper the monster dropped, because he decided to just jump out of a window and escape, I guess. Not that I blame him. So you collect clues, you visit the kitchen a few dozen times, you go inside buildings, and... Shaggy's afraid of wood? Really? Yeah, can he breathe, or is he afraid the next breath will be too much and he'll explode? Eventually, you end up in a hidden temple in a hidden cave, where Mr. Politically Correct gives you a key to use back at the lodge. How do you get back there? By playing the worst downhill skiing level you'll ever play, of course. Yeah, you thought the normal controls were bad enough? Turning left and right takes too long, it always overcompensates, and you have almost no time to react to the objects in your path. And once you do get down there, get the rest of the clues and give them to the gang, who I guess just stand in one place sipping hot chocolate and making you do all the work, lazy jerks, what do? Go right back up there, find the monster, and do the skiing level again, but this time with an abominable snowman behind you. And look, you don't even start off skiing. You have to turn towards the slope, giving the monster plenty of time to catch up to you and deal damage. Jeez, it's like if Takeshi designed Microsoft Ski Free. So the monster is captured and unmasked and everybody leaves. Next! Level 3, A Tiki Scare is No Fair, actually starts you off being chased by the monster. Oh yeah, don't let me explore and find some safe zones first. Just start me off with the monster and assume I know how to use the broken controls around this area. Hey, I'm being chased by a hideous black-faced priest here. Could I get some help? Anyone? You, sir, the one flexing his muscles. You look like you can take this guy on. How about it? No? Alright, I'll just let you work on your tan. Hope we don't run into any sandworms. So you run into a cabana and the tiki monster is like, screw that, they serve fruity girl drinks in there, and just leaves. Then it's right back to collecting clues and trap pieces and these coins, which do absolutely nothing. I'm not even kidding, the programmers forgot to give these things a reason to exist. And to get out, you need to cross these stage props, which of course Shaggy and Scooby are afraid of. You meet up with the gang, who tells you to find Daphne, then go off to play volleyball or something while you're stuck exploring the entire island for these clues that, really, in the end, mean nothing. Okay, I've been putting this off for a while since I didn't want to start the review with a lot of yelling about something not even related to the game, but at this point I gotta ask. Why do they need to collect clues? They don't need to solve a mystery. They never have. The general format of the show, at least the original one the game's trying to emulate, is that there's a man in a suit scaring people off to either hide or commit his crimes. Which is a very stupid plan, since as the Scooby Gang have shown us, people will show up to investigate. You're not scaring them, you're drawing attention to yourself, you moron. Also, there's only one or two characters that appear in the show besides the gang, so you know it's gonna be one or the other. But there's no reason to wonder who it is, since they always decide at the end to trap the monster and unmask him. And if you're gonna do that, then there's no reason to figure out who did it if you just catch him and find out for yourself. That's all you have to do. Find the monster, set up a trap, pull the mask off, the end. You don't have to discover the clues since the audience already knows who it is, and you already know without the evidence that the guy's been the one committing the crime. Just dig the pit or set up the rope or whatever and catch him. And that's not to say that the show is bad for having all their filler, because it does have some entertaining points and explanations as to how they pull these things off. But in a show that most other cartoon mysteries base themselves on, there's really nothing to base anything off of. Scooby-Doo, despite what it claims, isn't a mystery show. Okay, sorry to go off on a tangent like that, but if you've been playing this game for as long as I have, fighting the camera and the control system just to find these clues that are pointless in the end, I think you'd see just how redundant and futile it is as well. Anyway, back to the game. This is probably the biggest area yet, with two sides of the island to explore and several secret areas that involve you walking from one end to another to collect everything you needed for them. And it takes forever. It's bad enough that you don't have a map, but you can never remember which path leads where. Like, you know that skiing section of the last level they just had to include because it was so much more calming than the rest of the game? It's in this level as well, only you're rolling a log down a hill. And this time, it's completely pointless. You find the area completely by accident, and it takes you back to the main area, which you never want to go since it's far away from anywhere that actually has anything you need, and you need to walk all the way back and hope you don't go that way again. It's too heavy to open. With 1-0. See, even the spell checker gave up at this point. But probably the worst part of this level is when you find this secret cave. You run through the cave, constantly losing track of where you need to go and getting hit by the lava, which I keep trying to pick up since it's the same glowing aura that the items have in this game, and you finally find Daphne. I sure hope you brought a key to these shackles. Well, I didn't have a key on me, so I had to run around the island looking for it. Is it by these Easter Island heads? No. Is it by the giant statue? No. Is it by the tiki bar? No. In the kitchen? No. By these cabins? No. On the beach? No. In the area of the monster? No. Along any of the paths I've taken? No, no, no! Well, where is it then? I've checked every square inch of this entire island, the thumbstick is hanging loose from all the constant realigning, and I've run into the dang log roll about a dozen times! Where's the key? Where? Oh jeez, I can't take it anymore! Will anyone tell me where this key is? Tell me! Tell me! But I'm an idiot. It turns out that it is in the monsters area after you drive them off. But look at it! It blends nearly perfectly into the ground. I even walked over it a few times trying to find it. Couldn't there have been a better color for it? Or even a sign that says, "Key right here, dummy"? You'd have a better time finding the gray key in Adventure, because at least that's a fun game with the cool payoff. So you go back inside the cave, free Daphne, give the clues to the gang, and then have to go back outside the cave, find the monster, and hopefully remember which way to go in here, otherwise he scares you and you start all over again. You finally catch him, unmask him, and leave for the final level, the Case of the Classic Creeps. Now the final level, you may think I have the most hate for, because this is where the game reaches its peak and its extremely dissatisfying conclusion. But believe it or not, this is actually the best level of the game. And simultaneously the worst. Why is it the worst? Because nearly the entire layout is one big maze. All you do throughout most of this level is run blindly down corridors, hoping that you find the doors and clues you need, and you didn't just run down the exact same hallway 50 times. You know how I was complaining about the maze in Monster Party? At least that one let you fight possessed furniture and the beams of energy kept you on your toes. This is just unbelievably boring. Okay, I said there were some good things about this level, right? Because there are. This level actually has puzzles to solve. It requires you to think as opposed to run around blindly and find everything. You still need to find the items, but then you actually get a chance to figure out what you need to do with them. For example, there's this part where there's a giant killer bed. Okay. And you need a music box to keep it asleep while you sneak around it. I can't believe I'm rejoicing that I can select an item and use it. And then there's actually a relatively funny scene where the Ghoul King chases Shaggy and Scooby and we get the classic doors scene. And this is my absolute favorite cartoon gag ever, where the characters run through a large number of doors that, for some reason, are placed 6 inches away from each other, and reappear in another door. They use it in Johnny Bravo, Peanuts, Teen Titans, and even Doctor Who. And it is genius. I laugh every time it's used. Even when the animation is horrible, there's no upbeat chase music, and it moves at a snail's pace. But even that isn't enough to save the rest of the game, because in this level, you need to track down each of the other gang members, as well as finding all the clues and trap pieces. Which means exploring every single inch of every camera shot, hoping you don't miss anything. One of the clues is at a dead end down a specific path connected to another specific path that looks like every other freaking path. It took me about half an hour just to find it, and I still don't know how I did. And if you thought the camera system was bad before, just look at this. A Dutch angle? Really? You seriously ran out of places to put the camera, so you had to tilt it on its side? Look, you're not Resident Evil. Stop pretending you're scary. So once again, you collect all the clues and trap pieces, find the monster, and lure him into the trap. And if you think that since this is the last level and you've endured all the crap they've put you through, that they're going to reward you with some hilarious ending scene or a bonus feature you can look at, stop being so optimistic. It's bad for you. Nope. What happens is the same dang thing that happened the other 3 times. You unmask the villain. He says he would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for the meddling kids. They drive off, and the credits roll over the game's stock music. The freaking end. This is one of the worst Nintendo 64 games I've ever played. I mean, it's a Scooby-Doo game. I really wasn't expecting much. But this? I have almost nothing good to say about this. The camera's a joke, the controls are broken, the graphics are bad even for the Nintendo 64, there's no mystery, and it is boring. I mean, it only takes a few hours to beat, but with all the running around, searching for things, and getting lost all the freaking time, I feel like I'm in gamer limbo playing this game. Alright, you want a mystery to solve? Then tell me, who sent me this game? Who planted it for me to find? Who wanted to see me suffer so much that they would make me go through all this grief just to see the...
Oh, true.
Oh, hey there. You're not still mad at me for blowing you to atoms, are you?
Don't attack.
Ah! ZOINKS!
Come on, baby, let's take my car to the place where dreams come true. It's a mile up the interstate, and if you want to dance, well, that's there too. At the happy, haunted Sunshine House, we can groove. Oh, yeah. Well, there's cobwebs by everyone's dead. But once the sun shines in, they paint the place red. But don't be scared, girl. But when the monster mash, it's out of this world. Come on, baby, kick off your shoes, wave your hands from side to side. We'll dunk our heads in the apple bin, and maybe if you're lucky you'll be mummified. Ba-ba-ba-bow, 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 ba-ba-bow. Maybe if you're lucky you'll be mummified. At the haunted Sunshine House.
Now let's see who this really is. The Gatekeeper!
Yes, it is I, the Gatekeeper! I have been masquerading as a Klingon because...
Because it's the perfect time to review your games and I still haven't gotten around to it.
Well, if you want to take all of the fun out of it...
Dude, this is the third time you've appeared. Get a hobby. So that was Scooby-Doo Classic Creep Capers. It's a crap game, but it's a hiccup in the great franchise that is Scooby-Doo. We may take a look at some more of the games in the future, see if they get any better or worse, but until then, October is almost over, so thanks for watching, and see you on the last episode of Direct to Disaster Ween. Or D2D Ween. Whichever.
Where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you, pretending you got a sliver. You're not fooling me, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver. You know we got a mystery to solve, so Scooby-Doo, be ready for your act. Don't hold back, and Scooby-Doo, if you come through, you're gonna have yourself a Scooby snack. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, here are you. You're ready and you're willing. If we can count on you, Scooby-Doo, I know we'll catch that villain.
Jinkies, isn't that a breakfast cereal or something?
Are we done here? Can you untie me now? Hello?